Hello and welcome back to Idle Kingdom Defense. So today we made it to 11,435 and we are heading into King's Ruins. And let's see. So I haven't gotten the update yet. I meant to get it but I didn't, and that's why our buddy Thor here, he will not be doing his extra damage, and that's why I'm not even going to try this one. That one's a terrible one to fight. Okay, this is an easy one. We'll let this one roll. See if I regret it with what comes out next. Yeah, I really did try to get to 11,500 for the buffed archer gear, but that just didn't happen. Just didn't happen. What can I say? So, yeah, at least we can AoE these guys down. And again, you know, even though Thor got his buff, it's a straight damage buff, which is nice. But, and I mean, it's really good. It makes him like, equivalent to like Marion for warriors in terms of how his skill scales and damage, I believe. But, you know, the problem is, he's a warrior. Warriors don't do damage. It's really a mechanics thing in the game. Like, the reason Thor doesn't do damage is because he doesn't get Lucas's buffs. And because he doesn't get Lucas's buffs, we don't put levels in him. Because we don't put levels in him, you know, his attack's even lower. So it's like, you know, they got, like... That is one of the things I wonder about. I wonder, like, if I level the other heroes up, right, to 5,000, like, get everybody to the same level, will the other heroes do damage? You know, like, right now, Marion is doing more damage than Evan. But now she's a higher level than Evan. Is it because I've leveled Marion up more? Or is it because, you know, Marion just does more damage, period, because of the way her skill works? We don't know because Evan's still 4,000. And granted, this is a terrible battle to try to compare on, because they got all the buffs and stuff going on. You can just hear the craziness. And there we go. There's the first one down. One down. Yeah, I'm trying to... Oh, Jesus, this one. This cannon level's going to take forever, I can already tell. You do see, like, the big stuns that they're getting off. Like, Diego basically stunned everybody, and Thor then thunderclapped everybody, and... Okay, Randolph, and then I think Leonidas is going to pick everybody up, so... I think at this point, almost all of the actual troops have been aggroed by one of the warriors, except for the handful that got through. The handful that got through with one of them already being shot by the archers. Oh, and I did find out about my chest piece, and my weapon, my arrow. My chest piece and my arrow will not be promotable until Mythic 5, so... I hope I didn't screw myself on the chest piece, but we're gonna find out. I mean, I'll say this, at least with the Warriors, how they picked everything up really well, it's working out really well, because, you know, it looks like Christian was able to AoE a bunch of them down. Yeah, I did write the developers. And what they said, we appreciate your suggestions. But that was to the Remember Auto Battle. It's supposedly a feature they put in. Somebody said they tried it on YouTube and it didn't work, so I haven't I haven't made it yet. I haven't tried it. I will be doing the update after this. Once we finish King's Ruins, I will be doing the update. I actually am going to have to sort my videos to make sure that I mark these as all 1128, and then I'll do the update. I am doing things a little early tonight. I kind of just wanted to get it done. I actually lost a lot of the audio that I made with Leaf Blower Revolution, and it kind of sucks. So I'm gonna have to like heavily edit. Like I recorded like 2 hours with my microphone off. Granted, you don't really need to see all that because it's mostly like I can skip like a lot of it. I think I spent like, for example, I did the mega crunch. Well, I shouldn't say what I did because you obviously haven't seen the video yet, but I did something. Let's just leave it at that. Is I did something. We don't know what it is, and the something that I did, the something that I did then required me to do a lot of stuff to try to get back to where I was. And in doing all that stuff, you know, it just took forever. It just took forever, and I didn't need to really show you the details. I could have explained the details of what I did. So I could probably cut all that out. I mean, I kept it in because I was talking the whole time, you know, about what I was doing, why I was doing it, and all this stuff. But it could be summarized pretty easily, you know. One of the things. I mean, it kind of sucks to lose the footage, but at the same time I can sell it. You know, at least I can salvage it. That's all I can say, you know. At least I can salvage. Not like anything's gonna salvage this. But the problem is I have to go through it, I have to edit it, I have to export it, and then when I edit it down to its final form with no audio, because I don't really care for the music in LBR was it wasn't the best music I've ever heard. Let's put it that way. And plus, there's that whole weird thing with YouTube and copyright claims and all this kind of stuff. And so I just didn't want to deal with all that. I just don't want to get a copyright strike or, like, you know, lose something. So, anyways. So like, it's not even like it even recorded the game, because there's no audio really in the game. It didn't even record that instead, so. I will edit it, and I will give brief voiceovers or what I'm doing. Because really, it wasn't like I was doing anything crazy. I was just, like I think most of the time of me trying to get back to where I was just doing trades. That's all I was doing. I was just doing trades to try to catch up. Now, in the meantime, it's weird because what I've done is I put that on the back burner and started working on, like, my other game. Oh, hey, look, we're getting 2-star patterns now. Oh, no, we're not. Which is, I'm playing crossplay. I'm doing crossplay, and I'm also doing the season. I'm sorry. I'm doing PC and crossplay. I'm doing those two separate leaderboards. And, I'm not recording crossplay because, like, why would you want to see me do the same thing twice? That just seems ridiculous, but it lets me play without having to try to record. And it's really not the recording that's the problem. The recording goes great. It's the editing. The editing is what is such a pain in the ass, and it's really not that hard. It's like not hard, but it takes so much time for me to, like. All right, I have to make a thumbnail. I have to encode the video. I have to do this. I have to upload it to YouTube. Where if I was just streaming it, I could just pop it on stream, play it, and then and whatever's left is left. You know. There is a way to make it easier with templating and stuff like that. Just, which is kind of neat. And I mean, I have done as much templating as I can figure out. But it's amazing because, I mean, and it's not like it takes a huge amount of time, but I'll start encoding a video, and it takes me a good, and the thing is, too, I do try to do them in batch, because that makes it a lot easier, right? Like, it's easier and harder, right? I save a lot of time doing them all together because I can basically start encoding a video, go find the highlights, you know, okay, and then by the time I've done all that, okay, now I can start the second video, then upload the first one and do all the YouTube stuff. It's just so much, like compared to just me hopping on stream and being like, hey guys, we're playing Leaf Bow Revolution, here we go, and then just, you know, having an audience. But then, you know, the problem with that is if I do that and you're not available, then, I mean, at least YouTube has a cool thing where you can do the replay. Like if you missed the premiere, you could go back and watch the premiere with all the chat and stuff like that. You know, like with the Frost Flame. That stupid ass name. Yeah, you know, if you're gonna add random elements to your weapons, please do not give your weapons a fire name or any kind of element name, because then you get conflicting things unless you account for that and make it kind of like neat. Because Frostfire is a thing in WoW. It's like a cold. I don't know how it works, but it was a fire and cold attack. 50% fire damage, 50% cold damage. Which, yes, I know it sounds ridiculous, but whatever. It's fucking magic, dude. It doesn't have to make sense. That's entirely different from nomenclature, where nomenclature like should make sense, right? The fact that you can have a frost flame, just like what the hell. So just keep that in mind. Alright. Let's see if this is easy. Oh hey, this is a really easy one, good. And yeah, we're on the 22 cycle pattern now. Sometime after 10,111, it turns into this. So that's why they like the King's Rune's calculator and everything. It's all broken because we just don't have a good way of knowing anymore. Well, I mean, I'm sure we could find a good way of knowing, but like unlike before, it was pretty easy. Like, you know, it was a nice 14 repeating pattern, so it worked out perfect. And then they switched it to a 22 cycle. Which means I'm sure what it means is some of the harder waves repeat more frequently than in the 14 cycle. At least it's what I would assume. I don't think they're going to make it easier. Yeah, so who knows? Who knows? Who knows what to say? Or whatever. Hope you guys had a good week. I mean, granted, the problem is, I make videos 3 times in advance, so like, this is my weekend. Just about to be starting, and you're not going to see this until like Monday. I think it'll be Monday night, and we're all going to be dreading going back to the week, so it's like, I can't even send you good weekend vibes. But I can on the community tab, which I hope you guys see. I'm really trying to use that to, like, I like the idea of us guessing things like that, but I mean, I'm already running out of things for us to guess, because there's not much to guess now, because it's down to 2 choices, Sophia, who is 1 shard away, and Anthony. I guess I could drag out Sophia for as long as I could. Because, I mean, I think this will be the 2nd day she hasn't made it. Granted, you know, I don't think we had a lot of summons today. That was mostly because of, just the way it worked out. I don't know. Just so many things going on. This was a good one, though. This was a good one. And geez, we're already at 15 minutes. That's why King's Rune has become such a chore. You know, let me know in the comments if you feel like King's Ruin is kind of becoming a chore. Yeah, no, we're not doing this. It just, well, I don't even mean a chore. Like, I enjoy it to a point. I just wish it didn't... I would love doing it if it was like 15 minutes like it used to be. These 20-second levels turning into like 6 minutes, that's too much. It's honestly my biggest complaint. Is these levels that, you know, again, it would be 40 seconds each level, 20 seconds if you go through it, right? And so 20 times 15, plus or minus like, you know, 15 seconds, you know, picking the, you know, let's say it's 30 seconds a level, right? That would be 7.5 minutes, which to me is a reasonable amount of time for a daily like this. And again, I'll give, you know, again, going up to 15 minutes, that to me would be completely acceptable. You know, 15 minutes, sure. But the fact that this is, you know, pushing, I think my record is close to an hour, and I mean that's just like too much. I think that was that with, or I don't think I've ever done that though, but I think it's gotten that close. I think when I was looking at that, I was like, yep, time to skip. Time to skippity-doo-dah. Again, there's only so many times I can say, look, the guys are all in the castle, and none of the warriors are. What are the warriors doing? Nobody knows. Like, how many times can I how many times can I go over here and John Madden and be like, see these guys over here? They're over here fighting in the middle of nowhere. But these guys fighting in the middle of nowhere need to come over here. They need to come over here. See, if what they need to do is come over here, and they need to fight over here, up and down here. I can't John Madden every one of these. It just gets to be too much. It's like just such a... I mean, maybe I need to figure out how to make my mouse draw on the screen so we could do the John Madden and circle the heroes and like talk about how they're being terrible. But even that would get old, right? That'd be funny for like a video or two, or when I was in the mood to do that, and then that would get old. I can't John Madden everything. I'm not John Madden. I'm just not. I'm not the legend, you know? I can't just sit there and talk football and make it funny, you know? Except instead of football, it's Idle Kingdom defense. Like Randolph finally figured it out. Look, he figured it out. He's doing the right thing. It's Ryan and I think it's Thor. You know, and they'd have to be better, because they'd have to have, like, better identification of who they are, you know? But yeah, it's Thor by process of elimination and also by the hammer. I can see the hammer. Also, you know, I'm bored because, you know, I start asking things like, wait a second, why does one guy have the purple splash of damage? Who's the other purple splash? Why do we got two purple splash? Who? And of course, it's Harold. Harold is the purple splash. But that was a whole episode of mystery, right? And hell yeah. Alright. Nope. Cannon level. Nope. At least we can pick and choose, right? Oh, yeah. Double cannon level. Okay, no thank you. Oh, and for everybody wondering why I buy the buffs at the end, you buy the buffs at the end and they just carry over. So, somebody had asked me that in the comments, but that's why I buy them at the end. Because if you notice, most of my videos, I start with the buffs. It's basically yesterday's buffs today. Mostly because at the time, that was like my test of strength. Like, could my heroes make it through without, you know, any trouble? And if they did, they were strong enough to move on, and if they weren't, okay, we need to spend an extra day farming. That was like, you know, how I tested if we were ready to move on. And it worked out pretty well. Like, if I struggled in King's Ruin, I said, okay, you know, we're just going to take a day or two and not advance. And I think the most that I held was like, I don't know, I think maybe a week. And a week was towards the end before we got to 9130, and then it was like, alright, we know they're adding mythic heroes. Everything, you know, I can't upgrade my arrow anymore. And do I really want to advance to make my King's Ruins longer? And the answer was no. I know a lot of people ask me questions about that, but that was all about, like, I didn't want to make King's Ruins longer. Well, that, and it did kick my ass. Whatever it was, the stage with the ballistas just wrecked me over and over again. And then if I got through that, it was stage 4 with the dogs that wrecked me over and over again. And it was to the point where I'm like, damn. Now clearly, I could have swept those 2 stages and done the rest of it. But yeah, it was also taking like a half hour each time, and I just kind of lost my patience for it, really. At least towards the end. Like, I would try to do a full one, and it took like 25 minutes. Which really isn't that much time. Like, 25 minutes isn't this huge amount of time. But, I don't know. I think I just liked it when it was quicker, you know? Well, I mean, of course I liked it when it was quicker. But part of the problem is the way the battles are. You get to a point where it's like clear you've won, right? Like, it doesn't matter what happens, there aren't enough of them to do enough damage to the castle where Sophie can't heal it, right? Or they're all on your warriors or whatever. You get into a state where, like, you're going to, like right now, right? We know we're gonna win. There's no way that they're gonna win. Like, I could probably turn auto battle off at this point, and we're gonna win because the majority of the monsters are aggroed to my warriors, and there's no boss and there's no weirdos. But, you know, and I get the purpose of letting it play out, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, why? Now I have suggested some rebalancing things, but not a lot of people like it, like increasing the attack of the monsters more. Like, it could be just in King's Ruins to make the monsters do more attack and have, you know, less health, right? So it becomes more of a DPS race, you know? And what I mean by that is, and people say, well, it benefits you because of Sophie. And I'm like, well, yes and no. The idea is, instead of like how it is now, where we're going to let all these dogs pile onto the castle. Literally all the dogs are going to make it to the castle, right? Instead of that, you would do enough damage, or hopefully do enough damage, where you'd actually defeat some of the dogs before they got to the castle and did damage. And it basically becomes like a DPS race. Granted, I don't know that that's better either. I mean, I feel like the easiest solution is just give us something faster than double speed, like triple speed, quadruple speed, quintuple speed. I would be happy with all those, but they can only give us that speed in like, I would say it should only be used in Conquest, it should only be used in King's Ruins, and it should only be used in, only those two. Because with those two, you know, having those kind of buffs, I can 100% agree with them that it shouldn't be on repeat battle. I think it could be okay to be on the regular battle. I don't know. But I would be okay with it just for King's Ruins, honestly. Just for King's Ruins, just to give us like triple or quadruple speed. That's all I would want. Well, we'll see if we ever get there. I hope that I'll get it. I hope that we'll get like a speed up. Because again, that would make this so much better, right? Like right now, we're not going to lose. Ryan has done his job. He has sneezed his snow on the guy back there. We're not going to lose this. But, you know, we do need to, we do still need to fight it out, and the best way to fight it out would be to speed it up. Though that kind of reminds me about a game I played as a kid. It was called Ogre Battle. And one of the things you could do in Ogre Battle was turn off the attack animations. And I did it one time, and like out of curiosity, I turned off the attack animations. Even though I liked the attack animations, I thought it was cool. Because you know, it would come up and you had like certain monsters, and they would have like one up to, some of them would hit up to 3 times and stuff like that. Well, I remember I did an experiment where I turned the animations off, And basically what would happen is that, you know, the character would advance, go forward, and just throw damage all over the screen, then walk back. So, because they all kind of sort of like advanced before they did damage. And yeah, I don't like this one. I don't think this is a good one to do. I don't remember, because I swear that, well, whatever, I already canceled it, we're out. I can't remember if that's a good one to do. It can be really bad, because if I remember right, that's one of the ones that gets split. Oh, okay, we're going to end on this. Anyways, with every battle, you could actually turn them off. And so what it was is they would, whenever anybody did a move that did damage, they took like a step forward, then they had their animation that played out, then they did the damage. And there was an option to turn the animations off. And so, I remember the first time I tried it, and it turned what used to be like a 3-hour battle, because most of the game is like, it's a game where it's like a kind of like a RTS game, sorta, where you make squads and like deploy them across a map, and when enemies come across your squad, you get into a fight. Very, very simple premise. But the thing is, I turned the animations off, and because everybody would just step forward and then the damage would tick on each side, it saved like 2 hours at a time. It was insane. Like a 3-hour match was like apparently 60% animation. It was crazy. But that was my first time. I'm like, damn. You know, it's not as cool to not see the animations I've seen 100 times every time. But at the same time, if I don't see the animations every time, look at how much more I get. You know. I don't remember what my end result was. I think I left him on, sometimes left him off. That was a game I really enjoyed, and I played the crap out of it. I always had my one unit that I used, which was it was always 2 undead in the front, 2 undead skeletons in the front, because skeletons got 3 attacks. Even better if I equipped the skeletons with holy weapons, because then they could kill other skeletons. Skeletons were unique because they had 0 health, so they took no damage, and they can only be killed by like the life spell. So they had like they were my tanks. Then I had a demon, and it was a demon because the demon gave them low sky movement, so now they could fly over everything. Because remember, it's a squad. And I put a cleric in there, so the cleric could heal the back row, which would be the demon herself, and and of course the mage. The mage would be the other guy in the back row, because he had AOE attacks. So between the 3 of them, they would just, or the 3 of them, the 5 of them, they would just clear everything up, clean everything up, and then if they did get hurt, we had a cleric to heal everybody. Not that it mattered, because she never healed the skeletons, of course, but the skeletons took the brunt of the damage. So to me it was a great unit. I don't know if it's the best type of unit ever, but it was a unit I always used. It did suck when we fought like angels, because angels had attacks that just like obliterated the undead. And same thing with clerics, but I mean, we would just use a revive after battle, and revive, and that was it. It was certainly not debilitating enough for me when fighting angels and clerics that I would switch. From what I remember, I would just shrug and just like, I just had a bunch of revives and just buy and revive everybody after town. I don't know, it's pretty good. Pretty good game over battle. I don't know that it would hold up right now. It was a very grindy game. Or at least I made it a very grindy game. I found out the important thing to do was to grind a bunch of gold early. And how you grinded gold, it was basically like a capture the town, you know, it was a capture the town game, and if you captured the towns, they would give you like gold and stuff like that, right? So I go around, capture all the towns, and then clean out the enemy, because it was basically you capture all the towns, and then on the other side there was an enemy that, and the enemy that you took on the other side was like the boss, and they had the last town, and the boss would never leave their last city. So, but they only had so many troops, so you could effectively kill off all the troops, and then just not engage the boss, and then basically the way it worked was there was also a money thing. So every city you liberated and all that gave you a certain amount of money, and minus what troops you had deployed, and that was your income, basically, that was computed. I don't know, I don't know how often it was computed, but there was some kind of cycle where it computed over and over. So the trick was, since the boss would never attack you, is that basically you would do a fight, get everybody in, get everything in, and then basically say. I think you could save the game, and I think you could save in battle. I don't remember. I think you could save because the battles were so long, you could save any time. And so the idea was you would basically set all that up, save, and just leave it on overnight. Because that's what I remember doing, and it was important to do that very early in the game so you didn't damage your reputation too much. Because that was the whole thing. The game had like a whole reputation thing, and it had a tarot card thing, and it had all these other things. But the thing was, if you did that early in the game, you didn't have enough reputation for it to matter, right? And then you would basically let it run for like overnight, so you had tons of gold. Because basically, once you liberated all the town and defeated all the troops, you only needed one set out, so you would basically send everybody back to base, so you didn't have to pay for their upkeep. And then with your one troop that was out, you would just, have them hang out. I mean, you probably didn't even need them out, but you just would have them hang out by the boss, just, to take care of the boss when you were done farming. And then after you were done farming, when you were finally done, that is when, hold on, I have to be right back. Oh, sorry about that. I had to go take care of some. Suddenly, I didn't want to interrupt the flow of combat here. Excuse me. But anyways, once you got to that point, where basically you had your one set of troops out and you just grinded out all that, you then just go kill the boss. But the thing is, you can get this special kind of ticket, and the special ticket you go buy can give you a stat boosting thing. And so you would farm all this gold to hope you could get the ticket to have enough money to buy all the stat boosts you would need, because you could change your alignment and stuff like that to get certain classes, to have all that. It was a fun game. So we're going to buy these buffs, and we're buying these buffs because they will carry over till tomorrow. So just in case, because we have been getting some new people wondering why I do the things I do. So that is, oh wow, yeah, I guess that's what happens when you do that. Where is, I think it was 121 out of 125 now? Yeah. Or 122. 122. Our 122nd win. Very nicely done. So once again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. If you have any questions, please say something in the comments. I do always look forward to your questions. And thank you again. I hope you have a good day.